Hey, this is Ian Gordon, Sciences Librarian. Thanks for letting me into this particular class, and thanks to your professor for allowing me to share some insights into how to search for information and use databases to be a better writer, to be a better student, and to be a better researcher as well. I'm going to move through a series of slides, but at the end, I'm going to do a GeoRef database search just to give you a sense of how I would approach a particular topic. You using your topic will do the same sort of thing as well. First of all, the outcomes of this particular presentation should be to identify key Brock Library Earth Science databases. Again, you're probably attempting to find scholarly peer-reviewed research articles for your annotated bibliography. Learn more about Omni, which is our new database to help you find books, ebooks, streaming videos, but more importantly, papers or articles from scholarly peer-reviewed sources. How to use GeoRef, Google Scholar. You've maybe never used Microsoft Academic, but it's kind of neat. I want to show you that as well. Web of Science is a core database. Scholars Portal eJournal database is an important database as well. We want to affirm what peer review means, how to use it to note this particular assignment. Know more about citation management systems like Zotero. We'll talk more about that. Share resources to learn more about writing an annotated bibliography. I'll share my insights on that as well. Exploit the Brock Library Earth Sciences Research Guide if you haven't used it already. It changes all the time, so you need to consult that as well. And to be knowledgeable of where to get help. Help like, this isn't working. Help like, I don't know where to start. Help like, can you show me something? Or help like, can you show me how to use a particular database or a citation management system? Again, we're just here to help. Your assignment is to write up this report. You've picked your volcano, you know something about it, write a brief summary, and you have references cited. So you've done some research well, used some tools. I'm going to show you the tools that you have accessible to you to be a world researcher and find information, whether you're here doing this assignment, you're in the field, you're doing research, thesis, or dissertation. All works the same way. Also, the next step is for you to turn in an annotated bibliography. Takes a bit of time to read and digest scientific literature. Sure, I recommend beginning your research early. So you should really be framing out the databases you search, the keywords that you use, the sources you cite, and putting them into one place so that you not only have these citations, you have the full-text PDFs of articles or resources that you think are important, and you can begin kind of shaping how you're going to put this bibliography together. For me, for this assignment, I picked this particular volcano, the Manam in Papua New Guinea. So no one's name is beside it now, you may, but I've picked it. And here's a map of where it is. I didn't know anything about it, but it was an interesting assignment. First of all, you have to discern what words and keywords you can use when you search in different databases. Words are quite powerful terms, and from a geological or earth science perspective, you had additional dimensions to this as well. The volcano name, it's pretty simple, and I've put it in blue because when I searched almost all these databases, I didn't need to use much more than the name of the volcano. The geographic and political names, where they are, the geological structures, the earth sciences perspective, including petrology, if that's important to you. The research institutes, geological surveys. I searched for an international source, which is in Papua New Guinea. So who has done what around the world on this particular volcano? And I found that Rabula, can't pronounce it, is an important source, but the USGS, United States Geological Survey, is the de facto world international geological survey and has records and publications as well. And I also identified researchers' names. There are not too many people that have researched and published peer-reviewed scholarly articles, books, book chapters, open publications, and so I noted those as well as I went through. It was a process that took me about a day to figure out my sources. And again, these are pictures of that volcano. Pretty neat. First of all, our library homepage is here. There's many things to sort, including new to Brock, library resources. Things have changed during the pandemic. But graduate students, and increasingly just this past week, undergraduate students, if you're locally available, can request prep materials be signed out, and you need to pick them up. It takes about a day's notice, but they're there for you to use, and then you can return them at your own leisure. If there's print resources in our library that you want access to and you're not locally available, you can certainly, through these resources and forms, request that a chapter of a book or a journal article that's in print format it can be sent to you usually in 1 or 2 days. So that's amazing as well. And interlibrary loans is really important as well. If you haven't signed up or used interlibrary loans or Eraser, you can get materials from around the world, whether it be chapters of books, articles, or journal articles we do not own. They can get them for you within 3 to 5 days. So you have the world's literature at your hands. Here's our homepage and a number of sources that you can search. Most importantly about all these things that you can do is our research guides. If you click on our research guides, if you've done before, you bring up the Earth Sciences Guide. On it, it identifies tabs for things you can look up. I won't go through them all. I'm going to go through some of them as well, and information, and a good picture of me as well. Government International. Well, if you look at that particular tab, as I said, the U.S. Geological Survey has a publication warehouse, has a scientific, and has a data database. You could search using your keywords any one of these 3 sources. I searched Papua New Guinea, and they don't have a geological survey or a government site that tracks or records publications, and that may be your case as well. So I kind of searched the world's literature and the United States Geological Survey. Theses and dissertations. They're really important because they're full-text sources from around the world in databases, and there's many different databases to search as well. You can search for that geological feature over a period of time and find a full-text thesis that describes these sorts of things. I found this thesis or dissertation by a noted researcher from Oregon State. So it's there in its full text if you wanted to read it. Theses and dissertations are important. Books and ebooks. Well, from a geological earth sciences text, many books are edited books that includes papers. They're handbooks that include chapters. They're reports by government agencies. So books and ebooks from an earth sciences perspective is kind of different than arts and humanities or other disciplines as well. There's a number of sources that you can look up, but you can find out what has been published over the world on your particular topic, that whether we have it or not, we can get it through Omni or you can ask for it through interlibrary loans. Hey, I found this book. Volcanoes, Crucibles of Change. It just looked interesting. So here's the book cover. But in that book, I found a table of contents, and chapters 15 and the appendix look really neat. I could ask for those through interlibrary loans. Someone has a copy of it. It would be digitized, sent to Brock University, and would be forwarded to you for free. Usually it takes 3 to 5 days to do that. So don't limit your search. Think about it, ponder about it. But if there's something you'd kill for, you gotta have. It's just important we don't have in our library. Usually in a book, as a chapter or an edited paper, we can get it to you through interlibrary loans. Writing and citing. Well, here's an important tab. Writing and citing is important, and I have a number of tools here. Right at the bottom here are a number of tools to help you to write. Many of them are digital ebooks you can get from home. Right here, if you click on this particular guide, it clicks on all the citation management systems. By 3rd year, you should be using a citation management system to collect information about all citations, to collect abstracts, citation information, but also for you to make notes, grab content, and link to PDFs as well, so you aren't searching all over the place. If you do not have a citation management system, don't need to do it for this assignment, but I'll show you how I used it. Another reason to consult me or email me to set up an appointment. I'll show you why it's important as well. Here's my account for Zotero. As I went through and did this assignment, I pulled DOIs for individual articles and just slapped it into the database here. And I found, 20 items that I can look for my annotated bibliography. And at the flip of a switch, I just asked create a bibliography in APA or whatever format. And here's that bibliography. Then linked to that, I can do insect citations and writings or add abstracts or add annotations. It's just amazing. Citation management systems are really sustainable, really productive. If you assume to go on to honors work, do a capstone project, or do other related work, you really need to not only your own Zotero or citation management account, or you need to do one with a group as well. So here, Earth Sciences 3P90. As you can see in the guide, there's a tab specifically for this particular course and a link for it as well. In that, there's the sections on just things, the presentation, slides I'm showing you right now, this YouTube video that I've created as well, and books that are in our library, and ebooks, so they're in digital format. You can get them from anywhere around the world, on volcanic eruptions and volcanoes. We don't acquire books individually. You usually acquire the sets from publishers or clearinghouses. But if you find a book we do not own, email me and say, Ian, can you order this for our library? I think it would be valuable for me, for this assignment, for this course, but also for others as well. I'd be glad to get that feedback and probably order it and get it available to you as well. Volcanic reference sources. There's a number of sources that are here. Some that are listed in Sakai. They're kind of neat. Some are book chapters. Some are glossaries. Again, I won't go through these, but they're just really amazing tools to give you background and context as well. What is a peer-reviewed article? Watch that video. If you do not understand what peer-reviewed means, it's a great, very short video Brock Library's put together. It gives you a sense of what it is that's peer-reviewed and why that's important. Other tools, Volcanology, textbooks, ebooks. There's not a lot of volcanic, volcanoes, scholarly peer-reviewed, or scholarly university-level books and textbooks. Here's some open educational resources, meaning open sources for courses, and other textbooks that we have. Consult these at your own leisure. They're actually great resources and help supplement, complement, and provide background information. Also in this guide is how to write an annotated bibliography and be a better writer. Tips for books we have and sources that I've found useful. I have never written an annotated bibliography. So you're on your own. There's people that can help, people in the library that can help who have done this many particular times, but these are tools that will help you get started. It's a really neat resource because it helps you to think and not plagiarize. Helps you to think and how to craft what's important to be saying and write an annotated bibliography. Writing is really essential in earth sciences. As we move forward, here's a list of databases that you should search. I've included some of these. If you look at the top tab here, 35 databases that you could search. So there's lots that are interdisciplinary, subject-specific, by different vendors that have different tools. There's probably some articles that are in most or all these particular databases. But more importantly, there's some content that's only available in one database, maybe not another. So why do you want to search more than one database? It's important because they have different ways of filtering the information. GeoRef looks for citation information and kind of maps subjects. Google Scholar, I have no idea how and why it searches, but it may bring up unique results as well. Omni, our library database, is an excellent starting tool. Web of Science Core Collection, I'll show you, provides cited references, and I'll show you what that means. Scholars Portal eJournals is important because not only does it search all the content that we and all Ontario academic libraries has, but you're actually searching not only the citation, the title, the abstract, the keywords, but actually the full text of all articles. So you'll capture research here, but you'll have to decide whether it's relevant or not. It probably can't be found any other way. So spend some time using all these databases. I'm just going to show you a few things about how this is important. As you move along, you'll probably find fewer than a lot of information. You'll have to find out and define what's scholarly peer-reviewed because that's the industry standard that we want to use. And you'll take and beg, borrow, steal articles and put them into maybe a citation management system as you move along. So at the end of the exercise, go through these databases. Go through them again. You usually know when you've reached your limit when you start seeing the same sorts of articles, or you sense that this is my universe and these are the 10, the 12, the 20 articles that I can start to build an annotated bibliography from. Let's go ahead. Here's Microsoft Academic. It's one of those alternate databases. It's neat. It's like Google Scholar put out by Microsoft. And it works on the principle of clustering. So it's a different search algorithm. We don't know what it searches, how it searches, but it searches through subjects. And you can see these subjects under topics and other types of topics that are related to any particular topic. So I searched these two keywords. Remember I said 1 or 2 or 3 keywords is all I had to do. And you can limit by topic, publication type, but it brings up results that I couldn't get in any other database. It was kind of interesting, but all the links are there to provide full text information for PDF files that are in our library. I'd say of all the articles that I found, all but maybe 2 were in our particular library. So keep searching, but ask if you think you need assistance. So Microsoft Academic, try it. Oh, it's free. You can use it anywhere. So here's a cluster of Volcano, 78,000 publications. And citations, not only people that have cited these articles, but actually the references from these articles as well. And particular topics, it defines in clusters and kind of intentionally groups things together. There wasn't a group for my particular volcano, and probably not for yours. Maybe there isn't. You'll find out where that is. But it allows you to use the benefit of their knowledge and their searching algorithms. Volcanoes, this is how many articles have been published on that cluster in this database. Amazing, eh? Here's the top journals as they've ranked them. So not only does it give you information, it provides analytics, and it said top journals. Don't know how they classify that. The Journal of Volcanology and Geothermal Research. Other journals, Bulletin of Volcanology. There's other databases and other journals that cover this literature, but that was kind of interesting. They have a researcher's blog, a conference blog, and a ranked list of institutions. The USGS is up top. So it kind of tells you where this research is happening too. Kind of neat. Google Scholar is our next database. Maybe you've used it, but link through our profile and link through Brock University so that you grab our holdings. Now, sometimes this lies in such that this article may not be in our library if you click on the link, and vice versa. It may not give you an entry, but we have it. So always check Omni and search for the article title in articles and see whether we have it or not. But it brings up materials you can't get any other way. So I search the name of my volcano with asterisks around it to find this phrase, one word beside the other. Got a few interesting things as well. This particular article here comes up everywhere, and it's kind of thinking this is the most important article I would ever find on this particular topic published to date. Omni, searching for any field, the word as articles, as opposed to books and streaming video, and in any field, how many articles have at least one or more of these words. If you look at Omni, one trick that nobody remembers, but it's really important. See how I put or? It's like teenager or adolescent or high school student. England or Great Britain or United Kingdom. Different words for the same concepts, since language isn't perfect. You have to type or in capitals, capital O-R, and that's how it remembers the logic of or. So I look for things that sort of by relevance. I look for things that are available online and resource types, journals, and I found a number of things, 204 articles. I searched Scholars Portal journals. Remember I said it searches the full text of journals. And I searched these words. And again, some databases allow truncation, picking any word with a root by typing Shift-A to get the asterisk. Volcano, whether it's spelled with an O and an E or just O, or S or plurals, or any word that's hyphenated with volcano. And I use other tools as well. I got a number of results I couldn't. The nice thing about Scholars Portal journals is not only does it search the full text of journal articles, the actual text, figures, and everything, but actually, there's always a copy available that you can download as well. It also gives you other keywords and other tools that you want. There's that journal, Journal of Volcanology and Geothermal Research. I think it's an important journal. So further down the page, here's an article citation, downloading it, digital rights, and it tells you the tools, and it kind of mimics Microsoft Academic and the kind of search logic and the results it found. Again, language is important. As you move through, do your research, use the terms that you think are appropriate, but don't be afraid to modify or add those terms as well. I actually went to the Journal of Volcanology and Geothermal Research. I went to their webpage and I searched for my term. I put the word manam in it, and I found a number of articles. Here's one I could download in full depth PDF, where I got from Omni. But if you find an article here, if it's in PDF, do Control F, and you can search for that keyword within the document and see where it appears as well. Here's a search you may have done. You search in Google, you can search for all words and titles, and you can put in a word or a keyword, one, usually two, or you can put a phrase, and file type :PDF, and it looks through all the PDFs that it searches for this word in the title. And sometimes it pulls up things differently than you've used as well. So you can use a database, a search engine, Google Scholar, you can maybe use this syntax as well. I found this really neat article, but if an article comes up and you're not signed into Brock and I ask you to pay for it, don't pay for it. We usually have access to it. Rarely, if we don't, you get it through interlibrary loans as well. So here's the type of article search you can do as well. I found that article, and here it is in our library, and I checked on our holdings. It's in print, and I can't it, but I can scan this. So I fill out a form and say, could you get this to me from the library because it's in print? And I got it within the day, so it was kind of neat. And this is what the article looked like. Title, author, abstract. Abstracts are really important, especially when doing an annotated bibliography. But there's a context, there's an introduction, there's maps, there's figures, and then you can cite it as well. This is probably my best article. I went to the Lyle collection, which is a book. I downloaded this particular article, but at any time you can find this article. I go to the database that works best to providing an excellent citation. And again, I send this to my citation management system where you can track it and keep it to one site or build your bibliography as you go as well. Full text of the article is really important because not only do you want to read the title, the abstract, but you want to read the whole article. And that's why you need to get started early to get a sense of what this article is about and how to write an annotated bibliography for it. What I did is I went to Science Direct, and which is a science, and I look for journals, and I look for the articles in this Journal of Volcanology dealing with emergent. Again, like I did before, I found 24 articles that I kind of browsed, and then I went back to Omni, put in the citation, and found the full text. I looked at the Journal of Petrology. It was kind of neat using this particular, and I found a couple of journals that way. I went to the other databases, so we've gone through a number of them. Web of Science is really important. So I put in words and titles and truncated Volcan as a topic. It looks for words and titles, keywords, the author's keywords, and the generated Web of Science keywords, and the abstract as well. And I searched, I found over a long period of time a number of articles. I found 14 of them that were really good, core academic, scholarly, peer-reviewed papers. Really, it's amazing. You can use all the filters like any particular database, but you can rank and sort the records by time cited, usage count, source title, relevancy, or by date. Here's a number of articles I could mark and put into a marked list, then send them to my citation management system. This article at the top keeps coming up as well. And so I looked at it, and here it is, title, author, where they're from. That's kind of neat. If they're still around, that's kind of old, 1985. But since 1985, this database, within the database itself, found 96 citations to this article. That's a lot. But it found 51 times where this article has been cited by more current researchers in academic scholarly papers. So clicking on 51, it brings up all 51, and you can sort and rank them by date, by relevance, times touched, and any other factors as well. And some of them have been viewed or downloaded or cited up to 300 or 400 times. Gives you a sense of what people are using, reading, and citing as well. Web of Science does that really well. Another thing is GeoRef database. So this is the database that you should use. You can't exclude it, and you have to use it. I usually come to GeoRef after I've searched the other databases. And why use GeoRef? For a number of reasons. It has a controlled subject terms. These are the words that are here. They're linkable, and they're live terms. Volunteers, or librarians, or geologists work behind the scenes at the USGS to create this database. So it's not a commercial database, though it's sold to libraries and database vendors. Every article is looked over, and with a controlled subject language, these terms are added, and they're tracked and ranked and sorted over time, so they're used consistently, and the spellings are right as well. The coverage of geological formats and sources is important, so it looks through articles, reports, USGS, Ontario, Canadian Geological, International Geological Surveys, conference reports, which is a huge area of literature that isn't caught very many else. Theses and dissertations. Not caught very well else. U.S. geological materials and core sciences journals. It's filtered for scholarly peer-reviewed articles, so when you find something that's scholarly peer-reviewed and use the filter, 99 times out of 100 it is. The articles include lat long coordinates, which is really neat because in other databases, like Geoscience World, you can actually search for articles based on lat long dimensions, which is really neat. GeoRef in this format doesn't do that. It provides retrospective coverage. There's always a hard copy available. People at USGS that do this work always have one copy available in case the world explodes by volcanic eruption and nobody has a copy of one important paper. And it's a disciplinary gold standard database. If you haven't used it, you need to use it. Behind all the articles at Brock, we have maybe 80 to 90% of the materials here. So go through it and find things. I found 45 things that were important. Other things that you should know as we're kind of wrapping this up. If you're off campus, where everybody is, including me, make sure you set up your proxy server and your spam filters so that they work so you can move quickly and download materials at any particular time. Here's a page that helps you to know how to do that. Chat with the librarian is great. So this is where you can get help as well. So when this is open, Chat with the librarian, you click on it, and there's a librarian at the other end. And these are the hours, most days and weekends and nights. 10 p.m. So why isn't this working? How do I cite this? This isn't working, or can you help me with this? Does this sound right? There's always someone at the other end by chat. And when it's not working, you can email this particular email address. Someone will answer that all day, every day. Really neat. If you've not used Omni, if you want to know more about Omni, you need to sign in to get the full functionality of it, like any database that we use. Here's a video that you can use, Meet Omni, and it's on YouTube as well with a clickable link here. Just learn more about Omni because it's your de facto standard database at Brock. So here's the outcomes that I suggested. Identify key earth sciences databases to find scholarly peer-reviewed research articles specifically for annotated bibliography. But there's books, there's theses, there's all sorts of things that you can use. Here's the databases, as I suggested, that I would suggest you use. Try them and use them and learn how to use them and sign into them so that you can save your results and send them to a citation management system. You need to affirm what peer review means and note how to use this. Because sometimes it doesn't say this is peer reviewed, but when it smells, looks, tastes peer reviewed by the standard features of what a peer reviewed article is, it probably is. You have to make that decision or ask if you think you need help. Know more about citation management systems, Zotero, which I showed you and which I use. Share those resources about writing annotated bibliography. Good luck with that because I'm not an expert in that area. Use the Earth Sciences Research Guide, but be more knowledgeable where to get help. One resource on the guide is my email address, so email me and put your name or Earth Sciences 3P90 in the subject line or book a consultation. So what it does is it finds a day and a time that I'm available through my calendar, which is linked to it. And you pick a time and a day and it asks you, hey, what do you need? Or how can I help you? You fill that in, it comes to me. And then we settle on a communication software system like Teams or Zoom or LifeSize. And we get together for 45 minutes, share screens, and get some sense of what may work or what not work, especially for this assignment, but at any time in the library as well. So good luck on your assignment, and thanks for allowing the Brock Library to be part of this particular course. Really neat photo here. I use Upsplash. If you haven't used it, just type in Upsplash for photos. Not only photos that are neat and have good quality and could be copied, but also had a good smattering of things that can be used free as long as they're cited appropriately. So if you've never used a good photographic database that allows you to do many things well, Upsplash is a place to go as well. So thanks again. Good luck on your assignment. All the best. And email me or book a consultation if you need further help. All the best.